So a healer is somebody who's been through this process. Now, so they've come to recognize that the parts that they were ashamed of actually aren't so bad, and the parts that they were so proud of, that's not that great. And their energies now can flow in a more harmonious way, the way nature does. Nature has some things that are beautiful and other things that don't seem quite the same, but there's a wholeness and a rightness to it all. Now, what happens when then the wounded healer, that is somebody who had their own healing crisis and has now come to integrate themselves, being both knowing that they're an individual and one with the whole, and they're encountering a patient who's having a healing crisis, and the imbalance between their yin and their yang, or between what they accept and what they reject, has become very strong. Do they zap them with some energy to cut this part out? When a person is depressed, the healer comes along and says, "Oh, you're so sad, let me cut the sadness out of your life and toss it away, and now you're healed." Or, "You've been having this horrible psychic experience, here, let's cut it away and throw it away, and now you're healed." No, that's not what happens. Is that when you look at the process, the healing person and the person who's in the process of going through the healing, they're together in an interaction. They're affecting each other. Because actually, we are patterns of energy. And these two, the energies in these two people are interacting, vibrating together. And the vibrations in this person, which are all skewed because these vibrations have been accentuated and these have been downplayed, but now there's kind of a reversal going on, real skewed vibrations, and come over and affect this person in a skewed way. So, say some "I don't accept myself" kind of vibrations come over here. Now, this person and the person who's been through the healing crisis knows whether this is a conscious thing or an unconscious thing, and experiences those vibrations, but has to learn not to either fight, resist, or grab, or hold on to things, and takes those and has a miniature, you might say, a miniature inversion healing crisis themselves, which is getting a taste of as they start dancing with the energy from this person. Because they said, "I am here to be helpful to you," and I start dancing with your energy, I feel my own little healing crisis. And I describe inside what happens to me. And what's happening to me is a process of feeling a little bit out of balance, and then as I settle down with it, I regain my balance. And now I am balanced with something that at first was unbalancing for me. As while I'm doing that then, that process of taking energy that was very, say, imbalanced and allowing it to achieve and settle into a balance with me, that comes over here and affects this person. And this person now is reminded or inspired, just the way this person had been reminded or inspired, to how to be balanced with this kind of energy, and what had been an imbalance starts balancing out. So it's like this person, the patient, reminds and inspires this person of what it's like to be off balance. Then they remind themselves of what it's like to regain balance, which in turn reminds and inspires this person as to what it's like to be rebalanced. So it's a back and forth kind of proposition. One of the things that I know you're going to learn in this class is that it takes two to tango. That it's an interaction between you and the other person, that this healing is an exchange, is a dance. And how does this dance affect you? How does it involve you? Obviously, you're going to be connected with another person in some very intimate ways. And what happens for them is going to have an impact for you. And what's going on inside of you is going to have an impact on them. And so, as we've talked before, you're going to learn that it's important that you be working on yourself. Not that you're a finished product, but that you're comfortable with the process of going through change, making self-discoveries, learning about limitations that you were not aware of, and then working with them, accepting them. Now I want to show you a couple of very brief clips that will help you sort of imagine more concretely what I'm talking about. You're going to see a very brief excerpt from a video on breath work. It's a very simple process of focusing on your breathing while you're breathing in a circular, non-stop manner. But it brings out powerful phenomena in people. And if you're sitting there as the healer, as the person in charge, you might very well have some reactions to what you're seeing. And then the second portion of this clip we're going to watch as Stanislav Grof, who's worked very much with breath work, makes a couple of very important comments about the preparation that's needed if someone is going to use this breath work as a form of healing. So you watch these two little clips now, and I think that you'll have another area of appreciation for the idea of healer, heal thyself, that you're always working on yourself when you're being confronted with somebody who is going through a healing process. So let's go and look at that video now.
When the breathers were completely relaxed, she asked them to breathe deeper and faster than usual. After a few moments of deep breathing, she started the music. It was quite loud, mysterious, and involved provocative, primitive rhythms. For the first 15 minutes or so, the group seemed quite subdued, and I worried that the presence of the camera crew might inhibit the participants. As it turned out, I was wrong. Many participants started screaming, crying, and moaning while writhing around on their mats. They were obviously having what appeared to be powerful emotional experiences. Later in the session, the sitters and other facilitators did body work on some of the participants. The body work is to intensify the symptoms, such as back pain or headache, in order to release and surface repressed memories that might be associated with the physical tensions. After about 2
So these are very, very therapeutic, very transforming, healing experiences. You know, my background is as a clinical psychiatrist, so this is where I came from, and I'm very, very interested in this healing potential. It goes beyond just the adventure of self-discovery.
So, why couldn't I simply go home, put on an eye shade, or close my eyes, put on loud music, breathe deeply, and have very fascinating experiences?
This approach is deceptively simple. I mean, as you say, we do breathing, we ask people, lie down, we play music and have an experience and then draw. But it's not all that simple. Well, for one thing, we have great respect for the wisdom, the healing wisdom that each person has. And at the same time, that experience, that the wisdom that will bring forward these kinds of experiences, whatever the person needs to look at in order to become clearer, more whole people, that needs to be supported by other people. That there needs to be a safe context in which these kinds of experiences, some of them very vulnerable, some of them quite difficult, can come forward. And we believe very strongly that the people around someone having a holotropic breathwork experience need to be trained. They need to understand how to support someone through various kinds of experiences that Stan was describing. They need to know how to create a safe and supportive environment so that the person can go as fully as possible wherever their experience or their psyche takes them.